John Maxwell has what he calls the 24-hour rule for continuous, sustained success. And I apply that in my life, and it's a rule that he and his team apply. So I want to give that to you today. The 24-hour rule for continuous success. It's a very simple rule. It just says this: when you have a success, when something goes well, you have a victory, celebrate for 24 hours. And after that, get on with it. There's work to do. And when it comes to a failure, the same thing applies. If you have a failure, something went wrong, there was, things did not go according to plan, give yourself 24 hours to feel sorry for yourself. You can do less than 24 hours. It doesn't have to be 24 hours, but that's your maximum. And take that 24 hours, learn the lesson, and move on. Make the adjustment. Because in life, anything that's bad in your life, it's never going to change. Nothing will change about it until you make a change in that situation. Change is the indispensable link to turning a failure around. Indispensable. If we don't change something, then things won't change. A very well-known quote of Albert Einstein is, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting things to change. Expecting a new result. End quote. You're not going to get a new result until something changes. And when we have trials, challenges, difficulties in life, it can go three ways. If we don't master this 24-hour rule, it can destroy us. We can just stay in the pit and allow it to rule our lives, and the problem that happened once can continue to impact our lives for the rest of our lives. It can be like reliving that thing that happened over and over, and it hurts us every day. Or we can go into survival mode. That is the self-preservation mode, which to me is like self-destructing. Because when we do go into that mode, it's the position where we do whatever we can to get what we want, to have things go our way, even at the expense of others. Some people call it the dog-eat-dog world. That's the world where we don't care who we hurt on our way to the top. We will step on toes, we will push people away, we will hurt people, as long as we get what we want. That is the survival mode. And difficulties can sometimes cause us to, out of desperation, go into that mode. And those are destructive. But then there's a third way. And that's the way where we learn, where we take that 24-hour rule for the failure or whatever went wrong, and we find out what the lesson is. What lesson can I learn out of this thing that happened? This thing that went wrong? This thing that didn't work out the way I planned for it to? This thing that was done to me that I didn't ask for. What can I do? Is there something I can do to change so that this doesn't happen again? And this is where we build character. We learn the lessons and we make the adjustments. And that way, if we apply this 24-hour rule this way, then it doesn't matter whether we have a failure or a success. It's a win-win. It's like that phrase that John Maxwell says. He says, either you win or you learn. This is how it happens. It's when we apply this rule of when there's a success, celebrate for 24 hours, but for goodness sake, don't camp there. It happened yesterday. Today's a new day. There's work to be done. There's things to achieve. There's new hurdles to get over. There's new targets to reach. There's new aspirations for the future. So we celebrate 24 hours and then we get back to work so that we can continue that success. We don't end up stagnating and plateauing on that success. And if we fail, we do the same thing. Take 24 hours to find out what went wrong and how can I learn from this? What can I change? And then we move on with the change so that that failure doesn't continue to hurt us for the rest of our lives. So remember this, if you follow the 24-hour rule correctly, then you never lose. Either you win or you learn.